Good evening. Thank you, Ramsey, for that kind introduction. Thank you, Mike Sovereign, Lee Bollinger, for your words and for your work. Thank you to our campaign committee co-chairs, Allison Ressler, Brad Smith, and Kathy Serace-Smith, and honorary co-chair Jerry Lenfest. And thank you to our faculty campaign cabinet, led by Jack Coffey. It's good to be here with so many of our esteemed alumni, including Governor Steve Bullock. We gather here nearly 160 years after the founding of Columbia Law School. Since then, at every turn of history, at every triumph, every tragedy, we were there. In fact, rarely has a moment gone by that wasn't shaped or influenced by Columbia law. By us. By you. We were there when the federal minimum wage was declared constitutional, when the New Deal was forged. We were there when the term refugee was defined, when the Supreme Court struck down separate but equal. We were there. We were there to conceive the concept of net neutrality. And after Enron, when new oversight rules were put in place to protect shareholders, we were there. When the Paris Climate Agreement was signed, and when marriage equality became the law of the land. We were there. And that is what the Campaign for Columbia Law is about. Because where we have been shows us where we can go. And what we have done shows us what we can do. And those icons, those heroes among our ranks, the presidents and the heads of state, the governors, the senators, the attorneys general and the Supreme Court justices, and the leaders of the legal profession and business here tonight. They show us exactly what is possible with a Columbia Law degree. We are like the architects who built this temple, the masons who laid the stone, the visionaries who saw their creation to completion. We make the institutions that protect our society, that evolve it, and that enable a just future. Around the world, Columbians are leading. And I swear that in this city, down every avenue, across every street, in just about every institution, you will find a Columbian. From Wall Street to the United Nations, right up to Amsterdam and 116th. You will find us. At the Met tonight, we are a room full of Columbians, thinkers and doers, molding and mending our society, year after year, non-stop leadership. We were there. We are there. And we must always be there. Just as we have built and strengthened the institutions that protect our world, we build and strengthen Columbia law. We attract a faculty that identifies and confronts the most difficult problems, and that nurtures our students, launching the next generation. For me, this message is deeply personal. My mother was a teacher. My father, a labor lawyer. They taught me the importance of education and how it can be used to help others. They taught me the power of law to make a difference in people's lives. They taught me to ask hard and clarifying questions that would ensure my path was guided by strong values. And they taught me the importance of building community beyond the narrow confines of my school, my neighborhood, or my country. As Dean of Columbia Law School, I have the privilege to carry those values forward, and I take nothing for granted. Today, I am inspired by a faculty and a student body that ask hard and clarifying questions and that are guided by strong values, and that have a vision for the world that reaches beyond the walls of Columbia Law School, beyond our city, and beyond our nation. Since our founding, Columbia Law School has welcomed generations of students from every place conceivable and with every dream imaginable. We must continue to be that place. We must bring these brilliant young people to Columbia, no matter their financial situation, and to help them dream huge dreams while they're here. And we're doing just that. In fact, tonight, I am proud to announce that with the support of Chris McInerney and the Jerome L. Green Foundation, thank you, Chris, we can match 50 new student scholarships to bring us to a level of financial aid that is greater than ever before in the history of Columbia Law School. But I consider that just a beginning. We will strengthen our internship, fellowship, and loan repayment assistance programs to give students the flexibility to choose the careers they want. Our students can't lead if they're forced to choose the path of least resistance. And we want all of our students to lead. In fact, many of them already are. Our clinics give our students the chance to work with real clients to solve real problems and have real-world impact. Through our clinics, just in the past 2 years, our students have won asylum for vulnerable families. They've tackled climate change. And they've freed an innocent man from death row. But right now, we can accommodate only half of those who want to take our clinics. That's why we need to expand our capacity. More students should have a chance to do this work, and more clients the chance to benefit. Faculty support is also crucial. Our faculty here tonight, they need the resources to apply their brilliance, their rigor, their creativity to society's hardest problems. It's not only our alumni, but also it is crucially, it's our faculty who have shaped the course of history through their vital work. And it is our faculty that's teaching the next generation with such care. And our library, all of us, our faculty, our students, and the community beyond, we deserve a library that is worthy of this great institution. A library that fulfills its enormous potential to be a beautiful, versatile, state-of-the-art space for reading, for learning, for collaboration. After all, there is no time to learn on the fly when our laws are being tested. There is no time for baptism by fire when our Constitution is being pushed to its limits. There is no time for tests of courage when the fight for equality rages on, or for rites of passage when the very stability of our global order hangs in the balance. Our nation, our world cannot wait for leadership, especially now at this critical, chaotic, complex moment in our history. We are not strangers to challenge. For nearly 160 years, Columbia law has shaped and defined the moments that have altered the course of history. We know what we must do. We must not let the world define us. It is we who must define the world. Just like we did in the wake of the Great Depression, in the aftermath of World War II, in the middle of the Deep South during Jim Crow, in the face of emerging technology confronted with global threats. We must always be there. And with your support, I know we will be. Thank you.